With 114 hospitals and $14 billion in yearly revenue, Tenet Health Systems is this country's second largest healthcare company. It is also one of the most profitable, having built much of its business on critical care centers, which specialize in expensive, high-risk procedures like heart surgery. But as Ed Bradley has learned, Tenet is now facing allegations that it made some of its profits from overbilling, false diagnoses, and in at least one hospital, major surgery performed on patients who didn't need it.
In the shadow of Mount Shasta is Redding, California, a quiet town surrounded by farmland and home to Redding Medical Center, one of Tenet Health System's most profitable hospitals. Since 1989, much of that profit has been generated by the hospital's director of cardiology, Dr. Chae-Hyun Moon. Dr. Moon has performed more than 30,000 angiograms and ultrasounds, procedures in which a tube is threaded through a patient's heart to look for clogged arteries. Based on those tests, Dr. Moon has sent thousands of patients for coronary bypass operations. One of them was Jay Bradley, 35-year-old father of 3. 2 years ago, Bradley started having chest pains and went to see Dr. Moon. The diagnosis was grim.
He put the monitor in front of my face, and he showed me a little an artery on there. He says, well, this is clogged, and this runs the top front of your heart, and there's 0 chance of survival.
0 chance of survival?
He says, if something happens here, there's 0 chance of survival.
Whoa.
We need to operate you right away.
Immediately, Bradley was checked into the hospital and told he could be called into the operating room at any minute. But then something even more alarming happened.
A nurse come in, and she basically told me, get out.
What do you mean?
She said, get out. Under her breath, she says, you should get out. And walked out of the room, and I was like, hey, get back in here. She says, well, I could get fired for saying this, but I don't think you need this surgery.
Did she tell you why she thought you didn't need surgery?
She just says, I don't think you need bypass surgery. That's a major operation. I really don't think you need this. And she had asked another doctor to come in and talk to me. And he came in with his head down, wouldn't even look me in the eye, and said, I don't really think you need this. You should, maybe you should leave here and go to a big city somewhere.
So this is the situation. Dr. Moon says you need surgery right away or you're going to die. Another doctor comes in and tells you to get out of town?
Yeah.
And go somewhere else for another opinion?
Yes.
Whoa.
And at this point, I'm at my wits' end. I'm going crazy here. I don't know if, am I dying? Who's right, who's wrong here? And I went home.
But the next day, he had more chest pain, so he went across town to Redding's only other hospital, Mercy Medical Center, where he got yet another surprise.
They called the cardiologist in who had looked at my films, looked on my records, and he came up, told me, I don't see anything wrong with you at all.
Nothing wrong with you?
Nothing wrong with me. And the doctor finally told me, well, you're the 3rd patient this week that's come in here from Redding Medical Center who had just basically narrowly escaped having this bypass surgery. They have to come in here that we can't find anything wrong with them.
After running tests of their own, doctors told Jay Bradley that he might have an irritated nerve or muscle. His chest pain soon ended and never happened again.
Since we first aired this story last February, Dr. Moon has lost his malpractice insurance and has stopped practicing. Lawsuits have now been filed against Tenet, Redding Medical Center, Dr. Moon, and several of the hospital's cardiac surgeons. The federal government has expanded its investigations of Tenet Healthcare Corporation nationwide, and the company's chief executive officer, Jeffrey Barbacol, has resigned.